We had, I think, 23 trials last month and 19 of them converted. Once people feel it.
Your culture and your reputation.
And your reputation as a person.
Yeah.
And that gets out there really quick. If someone calls, answer the phone. If someone texts, respond within 2 minutes, and they're your customer. It's always been about people for us.
Yeah.
And still today, it's about people first. And we have a lot of internal personal drive not to fail at something. If we start something, we're going to finish it. That's just the way we're kind of built.
Hello and welcome to Gym World Worldwide. I am your host today, Mateo Lopez, broadcasting to you from my in-laws' basement.
Yeah, boy.
Where I have been for the last couple months, soon to be somewhere else. Who's to say? No one knows. Today, flying solo, John Franklin, my compatriot, my co-host and partner, is elsewhere. But it's okay, because today I have two great guests. Can't wait to talk about it. Can't wait to talk about CrossFit, successful CrossFit gyms. I'm really excited to talk about it. We have Ken Williams and his wife Jessica, co-owners of 4 different CrossFit affiliates in and around the Dallas area. We're going to talk about acquiring gyms. We're going to talk about rebranding, leveling up gyms. We're going to talk about operational excellence, SOPs, and consistency across multi-location gyms. We're going to talk about the model and how it works in different spaces. Retail small spaces, big industrial warehouses. We're going to talk about all that and much more for you today, dear listener. But before we get into all that, Ken and Jessica, how are you?
Doing great.
Doing good.
What's the weather like these days in Dallas? We're out of August now, so it's September. What's the vibe? What's it like over there?
Shockingly still hot.
But we're making the turn. It's like I'm wearing a hoodie today because it's cooler in the morning, but it's still going to get to 100 degrees today probably.
There you go.
Yeah,
maybe
95, which is still
yeah.
But it's still hot.
Well, I wish you good fortune in the times to come when it comes to weather. And yeah, let's talk about these gyms. So in the briefest, or not the briefest, but yeah, can you give us the story? How did we get here? How did we get to these 4? Where did your fitness journey start? The brief little intro for those who don't know you.
Sure. I'll let you kick it off because it started with you.
Sure. So I guess it started with my first endeavor in fitness and having my first fitness companies. I owned boot camps and personal training and nutrition kind of all rolled into one back in 2007, between 2007 and 2012-ish.
Yeah.
So I started in East Texas and I had my first boot camp and then grew that to about 4 locations out there. Met this guy, told him I'm stuck here, like I'm not going anywhere. And somehow he convinced me to marry him and move to California. Yeah. So from that point, I actually stayed in Texas and stayed for 6 months to get things set to where I could join him in California.
Yeah, let's reframe that. She said yes.
I said yes first.
And then
we got married.
And then she stayed for 6 months.
And then I stayed for 6 months.
Yeah. Oh, you went long distance post marriage.
Oh yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly.
So fun.
That's how we felt.
He locked it up, and then I said, "Hey, wait a minute." You know what, though? What happened, and I won't go into too much detail. We had our staff, or I had my staff in place, and on the honeymoon, things kind of came to light, and we realized we don't have the right staff in place.
Yep. Oh, gotcha.
So that's why I stayed.
Yep.
Trained somebody else basically to kind of head up the Texas locations. So once we got that in place, moved out to California, and we ended up purchasing 5 locations out there. Well, 6, and we shut one down.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
Oh, so these were were these like a franchise, or were these like a...
So it was very similar to CrossFit. I mean, it was more of an affiliation model.
Okay.
It was Adventure Boot Camp was the name of the model at the time. And they set up the same way. You pay a certain amount per year. It wasn't a percentage.
Right. And the founder of Adventure Boot Camp, he lived in Orange County, California. So we got to know him and purchased his initial locations from him.
Yeah, all his headquarter locations we took over.
Yeah.
So Jessika, you're a fitness veteran then. You've been in the game a while.
My degree is in health science. So that was personal training, nutrition, all that. Yes.
And Ken, were you always I know the answer to this, but were you always in the fitness industry?
I wasn't always in the fitness industry. I was always fitness or sport. I was a college baseball player too. So I was in athletics in general.
Yes.
But I worked for a healthcare recruitment company for about 17 years.
So why then open a CrossFit affiliate?
Yeah, I think the big thing for us is like, and I wouldn't classify myself as a big honcho. Culturally, we were a pretty flat organization. It was all about the bottom up mentality. And I think honestly, that's kind of how we fell into it.
Well, yeah, and you were still there.
Oh yeah, I was still there when we launched.
He was still there.
Yeah.
So when we opened, we knew we wanted to do something, and CrossFit was actually the first thing that we enjoyed together that we didn't get in all out, arguments about when we would work out together.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe after the fact we would yell at each other a little bit, but we loved it. And so it was the first thing that we really enjoyed doing together.
Yeah.
And we knew we wanted to start something. Obviously, my background was in fitness. So we decided to start that, but he was still at Medics at the time.
It's interesting because you started this one in 2020. It's funny for many reasons. We'll get to that. But it's interesting because I haven't really heard or seen I consider that to be like that's like the second wave, third wave. That's like a new affiliate to me. This is not the 2016, 2014, 2016 days of like peak CrossFit. So why, I guess, where did you see the opportunities? When, this is after the peak of CrossFit popularity. What motivated you to I know you were passionate about the model, the two of you enjoyed it, but like where did you see the opportunities there, I guess?
For us, it started really more as a passion, and the gym that we started at, it was kind of falling apart, honestly. And we just wanted what we had initially. So we were like, well, let's just build it.
Yeah, and essentially the gym we were part of was sold and bought by new owners. New owners came in, and the culture changed a lot. It became less about the community and people and more about how much we could sell you.
At least that's the way it felt.
That's the way it felt
to
the
us.
member and a lot of people.
Sure.
I mean, so we left, and there was no other gyms in the area really that were close to us at all. So it's like we were lacking kind of a safe home base. And with, her background in business or in fitness and business, and my background in business and the development product stuff, we felt super comfortable. Like, okay, we know the business side. We're not worried about that. Like, let's get going and build a home for us and all of our friends that we really care about that had nowhere to go.
Right. So it was more of just creating what we wanted, less of a let's go make, money doing this. It was more of a passion project, really.
Yep.
Okay, great. So it started out as a passion project. You open your doors January of 2020. Interesting time to start a passion project. I would think, if I were you.
Oh,
Yeah. I mean, so the journey started in July of probably 23. So it wasn't, not 23,
2019.
Yeah.
So it was like, we had no idea.
No.
Of
course.
Yeah, nobody had any idea.
At that point.
Yeah. So it's like getting into it, it's like, okay, we're moving, and then we're not moving.
Well, so what I was going to say is like, if this was just but if this was a passion project when 2020 happened, when lockdown happened, I would have been like, oh, well, maybe I should wait on this passion project and just kind of start over later. But you two pushed through. So I guess tell me about that process of pushing through and then even, coming back even better on the other side of it.
Yeah, sure. I think, a lot of gyms can relate to this, but it was the community, right? Like we had an incredible group of people that they wanted the gym to succeed because they wanted a place to go, and they were bought into our vision and already loved it. And I mean, real quick, I think it just created this drive, right, from the community for us to succeed. So it wasn't about us at that point. We needed it to exist for them.
Yeah.
And people were left and right, like, don't, we'll keep paying, like, we're shut down. And I mean, everybody was just banding together, trying to help us make it work.
It's always been about people for us.
Yeah.
And still today, it's about people first. And I think we have a lot of internal personal drive not to fail at something. If we start something, we're going to finish it. That's just the way we're kind of built. But when there's a ton of people around you continuing to say, we love what you're doing, we're behind you, like at that point it became, we're not going to let them down either.
Right.
Like we're committed to building this new community no matter what something throws at us, because we want to do it for them.
Yeah.
Well, great. So it sounds like it wasn't even, it sounds like you built this amazing place, or the beginning of this amazing kind of place for people, and you don't want to let them down. And you had to keep it open for them. It sounds like you did some creative things to keep the doors open. Tell me about the space, once we got out of kind of that period of time, right? So it's a retail space, but give a sense of like the space and the size and the layout.
Yeah, sure. So it's in a retail space. So it shares a parking lot with a Kroger grocery store.
Oh, nice. Oh, so they're the anchor tenant, I guess.
Yeah. So it's a retail type structure. 4,700 square feet.
Well, not then.
No, but we started in 2,800 square feet.
Yeah.
And then it was fully booked out at that point. And then we transitioned to 4,700 square feet when the tenant beside us, which coincidentally was Weight Watchers, it's kind of funny, went out of business and left. But it was like when you're in the middle, you really can't, because we were kind of in the middle of the retail place. So it was our one time to say, okay, we just started making money in the business. We were like, okay, finally, the investment's paying off. And then they leave and it's like, this is our one opportunity to expand.
Yeah. And
it was tight. I mean, I think we opened the doors with 90 members and 2,800 square feet. That's real tight.
To me, it sounds huge. We operated in the city, but yeah, I can see if you're doing old school CrossFit and you got the big racks, I can tell. If you want everyone to have their space, I could see how that would be tight.
In Texas, we like our space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything is, I've heard things are typically bigger there. Yes. Got it.
Yeah. So that's kind of the environment. And again, we had the opportunity to build that. So it's definitely our most efficiently built space.
Absolutely.
So out of 4,700 square feet, I'd say usability of it's probably 4,500.
And that's really, one of his many strengths that literally, if he's trying, or I'm trying to fit something, say in my vehicle, I'll be like, I don't know if this is going to fit. I'll ask him. He'll be like, yes or no. And I don't question it. It's going to fit. Yeah. Even if it's like that. So he maximizes space.
And especially in the retail environment, like, and we can get into that stuff later in the conversation, but with the cost of retail, price per square foot, where the commercial market is right now, you have to leverage every square foot you have.
Yeah.
So if a gym owner is just starting out, what would your advice be to how do they approach a space? If they're looking at, if they're comparing different locations and different styles in terms of, is it retail or is it industrial? Like what would be your advice for how they should approach the space?
That's such a great question. That's really, I think, key. And you kind of hit on it. It's, first of all, what is your client base? Like, where are the clients?
Yeah.
So for us, we went with retail, but we knew that's where the demographic was. We needed to be kind of in that area of McKinney. We could have gone, 15.
Well, if we go 7 miles to our east, let's say, for what we pay for 4,700 square feet, I could have 40,000 square feet.
The same price.
Yes.
For like a warehouse.
But our clientele doesn't.
But you're not next to a Kroger.
No, and the clientele doesn't live over there, so they're not going to go there.
Right.
And so it's always a give and take, because especially in retail, like, and again, we need to start doing more of it. But I'm proud to say we've spent $0 on marketing. Zero. I've never done a paid ad.
Well, I was going to ask that next. I mean, you started with 90 after the lockdown period. Now you're at it, it says you're around 220. How did you grow the space? Is it just that you've got a great product and you're next to the Kroger, or what do you think?
Yeah, I think it's, branding's everything. And like within the CrossFit community, how you treat people and who you are, and your culture gets out there real quick, especially with how tight the CrossFit community is.
Absolutely.
I think we're feeling that in our new location too.
Right.
It's once people feel it.
Your culture and your reputation.
And your reputation as a person.
Yeah.
And that gets out there really quick. So it's just like literally can change overnight. Like in our Prosper location, we just, we had, I think 23 trials last month and 19 of them converted.
Which is huge.
And
very, very high.
Very, very high. It was like 95% conversion rate.
Not normal.
But it was like a couple came, they joined, and then they told a couple friend, and then they told a couple friend, and then they told a couple friend. And it was like, but because they were like, wow, we really enjoy the culture. We really enjoy the people and the environment. And that's kind of just how it spreads. And that's how it happened at, that location too. Very similar.
Do you think it's because you have, we're going to talk about the other spaces in a second, but like, do you think it's because from what it looks like with these spaces, you can kind of do old school CrossFit, but nice, it's kind of what it seems like. Do you think that's part of it, or?
I do think that is a piece of it. We kind of call ourselves the bougie CrossFit gyms, people want that.
Yeah.
They don't, we have air conditioning at every location,
I think we did position ourselves as an anomaly in the market.
Yes. From
the old school CrossFit model. We looked at, we're big on market research and looking at everything and trends and opportunities. And, when you see the boom of Orange Theory and you see the boom of those type of, what they're selling is super clean, super nice, kind of fancy feeling, like upper middle class kind of feel.
Right.
They don't want to go in and grab a rusty barbell.
They don't. Right? And that's where we're at though. So to be clear, that may not be the area, that somebody is in. And cash is important, right? Like, so when you're considering the space, it's really, so SVR out of all of our locations, Prosper not really included, can be our least profitable location because the overhead is so high.
The cost of the space.
The cost of the space. Yeah. So, it is really important to consider not only your client, but also, your ideal client, where you're at. We're in a very bougie area.
Yeah. And we chose that location specifically because it was right in the middle of a neighborhood of average income over 200 grand.
Right. And again, it was our passion project where we were trying to create what we wanted.
Yeah.
Not necessarily.
So we spent a little too much money making it probably a little too nice on the front side.
Yes. And even the expansion maybe went a little more than, if we were to kind of do it all over again, maybe negotiate that a little bit differently.
Well, speaking about bougie CrossFit, we should probably talk about D-Town. So at what point did you decide, let's take this passion project and make it really stressful and add 3 more locations? What was the decision process there?
I think one thing that and I'll back up a little bit because it sets it up. One thing we did really well when we did open up CrossFit SBR, because of our background, like obviously she came from fitness, she knows fitness, but she wasn't CrossFit.
No.
So we didn't have, and I didn't have that either. At that point, I'd only been in CrossFit for 8 months to a year, maybe.
Right. So if CrossFit, it's a whole nother animal.
Yeah. So we went out and we found a head coach.
Yes.
That coached 80% of the classes. He did all the programming and literally spent probably 2 solid years of like teaching us those things, teaching us programming, teaching us how to like what it was all about. And then the cat,
other people as well. I don't.
Yes. Yeah.
For sure.
For sure.
We learned from everybody.
Yeah. But I think the one thing that we did different was recognizing that we're not
the expert.
We weren't the expert. We weren't the head
of CrossFit,
of that CrossFit opportunity at that moment.
Yeah. Well, let me ask you this. Who was in charge of the sales then? Who's in charge of the rest of it? Because I'm guessing you had someone who could focus really on the product and they didn't have to worry about that stuff. They could focus on making this really great class experience. you guys handled the sales, I'm assuming. Is that how it worked
We
out?
handled the sales, and it's still a trickle down effect. So putting our coaches at that time, he was our main coach. I will say almost to a default. Like we put sometimes those people, our key people, they're so important to us and they're like family to us. I say almost to a default. It's a double-edged sword. I mean, we would do pretty much anything to take care of him. But that goes down, that the community feels that. So
Right.
You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That was the beginning of the shift.
Yeah.
And for almost a year, we got things set with SBR to a point. And then it was like, what else? Like, what are we going to do now? Like, what other, right? Because now we needed it to be our income.
Correct.
Before it could be our passion project.
Yeah.
But now we needed it. And so after a year of diving in and evaluating different businesses, hiring business coaches or not coaches, agents.
Yeah. We to shorten that, we evaluated probably 90 different franchises and different businesses and private, because we were looking to what are we going to do next?
Right? Yeah.
And ultimately it kept coming back to
this is what we know.
This is what we know. This is what we're really good at. And they don't take 40% off the top like every franchise out there. Right. And that's the truth. It's like you have to spend $1 million to build something and then they take 40% off the top, no matter how profitable you are, which isn't really good for small businesses.
And then back to what we know.
Yeah.
So it's, we could have bought another business, but now we're having to learn a whole nother industry potentially.
And I think, again, this is kind of our whole life into one. You're kind of taking us down memory lane a little bit.
Yeah.
But it's in my old role when I was doing CrossFit. So we owned our gym doing CrossFit. We were probably 1.5 to 2 years in before I left.
Yeah.
I traveled for work constantly when I worked for the company. So I probably dropped in at 70 to 90 different CrossFit gyms.
Right.
So during that period of time, I'm like, it's a giant market research project. This was awesome. That wasn't good at all. Man, that person, no one even acknowledged me. I just kind of sat in the back of class the whole time.
Can I ask you, do you think those experiences were on the whole good or on the whole kind of bad from a customer experience? I know drop-ins are kind of a unique scenario, but
yeah, I would say from a customer experience standpoint, probably 70% were like, eh. And then there was 10% that were amazing. And then probably, 20% that were good.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I built the ones that were amazing. I built awesome relationships with now after the fact, and we modeled a lot of what we did when we launched, from them. Yeah. Even the gym design type stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, totally. Hey, gym owners, are you looking for a way to generate more leads, close more sales, and increase client retention? Introducing Kilo. We are a software company that gives gym owners the tools they need to increase revenue and run a successful gym. With Kilo, you get a beautifully designed website to capture more leads, an integrated marketing automation platform to increase sales, and our gym management software so you can add new client memberships, process payments, and organize your class schedule. If you're ready to upgrade your gym management software, book a call at usekilo.com. So it sounds like your head coach left, you were ready to leave your company, and now this is kind of the full-time income source for both of you. You learned a lot of lessons, applied those, and were able to kind of get SBR to kind of that maxed out level, more or less. So that at that point, what happened?
Yeah.
So at that point, we are, like I said, we had met with a bunch of different gyms, a bunch of different.
All right. You're looking to expand and you thought, we could franchise, we could do this, we could do that, but ultimately let's stay in our lane here.
Stay in our lane. Yep. And we met with a good friend of ours who had considered selling their gym. Be careful how I say this. And it just wasn't the right time. Yep. In that process, we were looking at comparable gyms just to be able to even determine to give it an evaluation, financial evaluation. And that's where we came across D-Town.
Yep. Yeah. And then coming across D-Town, reaching out to them, and then meeting them in person is really what, like, and again, seeing the space and the, like, because again, we were in retail in the suburbs. The D-Town is downtown Dallas in more of a warehouse design district structure, totally different setup.
Huge.
But we met with them, and again, they had owned a gym in Denver. It was actually D-Town. It was called D-Town in Denver, and then they moved to Dallas and they opened up D-Town in Dallas, and they're super successful as a family as well. So they did other things outside of the gym, and she does a lot of design work. He's like a custom home builder. They do a lot of construction stuff too, which hence the design aspect of
So
D-Town.
they did some of this.
They did all of it.
Oh,
Yes.
wow. Okay.
So, and for us, it's like at that point, they built all this, right?
Of that,
Yeah.
yes.
So, and they built a premier CrossFit gym in downtown Dallas.
Yeah.
Now, as their other business got going and got busier, they just found less amount of time to be able to focus on gym, right? And they told us this. They're like, we wish we could give more time to it. We just can't.
Right.
But we want people to take it over that have a passion for it and that really want to see it thrive. And that's where we just hit it off when we met. Same type of personality, same kind of drive, same kind of entrepreneurial spirit. But we're just now in that space where it's like, hey, we're going all in on CrossFit. This is where we want to be. And they were super comfortable going at. Now
they were ready to.
They'd been absentee for probably a year to 2 years at this point.
Which spoke to us as well,
Yeah.
right? Because we didn't live that close. We're a good 45 minutes away without traffic.
Yeah. So having something that was fully operational, all the players are in place, that we can come in and then just implement all of our systems, processes, and like do not a facelift on the space per se, but invest in a lot more equipment, brand new equipment, put all that structure in to like take it back up to the next level, probably the level it was when they opened it.
Right.
That's really what that decision was. And we were like, okay, this is a no-brainer.
And we saw the opportunity, right? Because they had been absentee. They haven't been
right.
on it. The staff was kind of running everything. So we could see quite a few little things that if we would implement, there was upside there.
There's a lot of upside. Yeah.
Right.
So that's kind of when you were identifying it. It was like the business upside. Structurally, it was all look good. It just needed cleaned up in like 10 different areas. It wasn't one big problem.
Right.
It was a lot of little things that changed it quite a bit.
Yeah, it's very similar to one of our more successful gyms. We bought a CrossFit gym in another state that was in the most amazing location in terms of demographics, and the space was a basement, which you need in a city because if you want to drop weights, you can't really do it unless you're in the basement. And it was barely breaking even, but we saw what it could be. You know, it needed paint. It had bathrooms, so it needed paint. It needed a good little cleanup, and it needed some coaching because the owners were, again, absent. So it's a very similar story. We'll hopefully have time to talk a little bit about the other two, but you've purchased, it sounds like 3 so far, or acquired them. How do you approach some of these acquisitions? I know they're probably all a little bit unique, but how would you advise a gym owner who maybe sees a competitor's space and they know the owner wants out? How do you advise them on getting it evaluated? What do you think the cost of a deal is for these? What should they expect in terms of lawyers? Maybe give some advice there for someone who wants to buy an existing gym.
Sure. So I think two of the 3 were listed for sale.
Correct.
Oh, they were? Okay.
So there was a broker that we had conversations with to be able to request the information from and go through that process. I would recommend like having a third party always involved.
I would as well. And I would also recommend evaluating multiple people, and making sure, it's somebody that knows what they're talking about.
Well, because these are hard businesses to evaluate. I mean, it's hard to figure out what a multiple should be on something like this. Like it's really not easy, and there are not a lot of comps. So your advice would be get some evaluation from a few different third parties. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. And when you're working with a broker, if you're going to choose a broker.
Yeah. If you're going to work with a broker.
There's a million brokers out there. Brokers are kind of like real estate agents.
Sure.
They may know what they're talking about. They may not. And if they're not a broker in the business, in the gym space, like they're going to think the evaluation is way too low or way too high, or they have no clue necessarily. Right. So I think it comes down to like opportunity that's there, the upside you can see compared to the equipment you're purchasing. All of the sales that we purchased, they were all asset sales. And we structured them that way on purpose. And
again, that comes to having a good broker that understands that.
Yep.
Well, do you put some number on the client list?
It depends, to be honest. If
the hard thing is
that's considered goodwill, right?
Because it's not locked in. Everybody could leave tomorrow.
Correct.
For the most part.
It's worth something, but not a lot.
Yeah.
And some people might have it miscategorized in their membership platform or whatever. And
for sure.
Absolutely.
or the credit cards, it's long expired or whatever. Yeah.
Dig into that because every time you think you know where the financials are
and take your time through the due diligence process.
Yes.
So when you have a broker, you have a certain period of time to do due diligence where you can go in and work to get all of the numbers, to actually see what's going on behind the curtain. To actually make a decision, and don't pull punches there. Dig deep, ask hard questions. Like, hey, this person, like it says 199 in the system, but they're only getting billed 129. Why? Oh, no, wait a minute, there's 50 of those. So it looks like revenue is off 199, but it's not. It's actually 129 because you ran a deal 2 years ago and they're all in that deal.
Right. And you promised them that for life, and you didn't tell us that. So when I try to raise prices on them, and they're going to leave.
So there's a lot of those things. And then the equipment's not worth much. I mean, honestly, it's every evaluation we've done is more, it depends on the level of equipment, but I'd probably say most of the time it's 30% of retail is what we value the equipment at.
Yeah.
That's all you're going to get out of it. And then from a multiple perspective, I mean, it comes down to the net of what it's churning. Because if it's a losing business, you're losing money. It's really not worth anything. It's only worth the equipment. And then if you're also taking over a lease.
Well, and then the overhead expense that you're taking on that lease, you're taking on.
Yeah.
If they're coaches and you're having to pay them.
So something that, and maybe this was unique to us, some of our gyms had a pretty unique like lease where like there's some value there where it's like, oh, there's like 8 years left on this term. And it's a basement they had a hard time renting. And so, or it's a space they had a hard time renting. So we actually have a pretty good lease agreement. Is there a value there? How do you value that? How does that come into play?
That's interesting because when you take it over, in our experience, we've had to renegotiate the lease.
Yeah. Except for I know your point here is, and I do see it. Like, for example, there's one location where the landlord is $1 billion real estate company. They're horrible to work with.
Yeah.
And
that could be a minus.
Big minus.
Last year, we got a $20,000 bill out of nowhere because it was just reconciliation on CAM from the year before.
And it's like every year, but last year it was.
But literally, like wipes out like half the profits on the year just for that like one extra bill.
Yeah.
And then we have locations like D-Town. D-Town, we did negotiate it. Like we renegotiated the lease, but we negotiated out 11 years. And we have the option to keep in 11 years. And our rate in 11 years is still below market value where it's at today. And he's an awesome landlord. He owns like a few properties in downtown Dallas. He's an old Texas guy who's just amazing. And it's like, there's a lot of value in having a great landlord.
Right. And you can just literally go to his office.
Yeah. And I call him, he texts me back immediately. He'll come over. He's in jeans and boots to fix something if something broke. Like there's a lot of value in that when you can get into an environment that's like
individually owned by somebody that
if another COVID hit and the world shut down, which I don't think could happen again, he would totally not bill us. Like, I know he'd be like, you're good. Yeah. Just the other one, they would care less.
They do.
Yes.
They didn't help us at all through COVID.
None.
At all. So good example.
Well, awesome. So yeah, we have a few minutes left here. So it sounds like these new locations, because you didn't live close to all of them, it was a forcing function on operations and being able to scale and use the system. So, and apply systems. So maybe tell us a little bit about what were some of those things. I guess what were some things you had to change once you expanded, And how were you able to grow all three of these new spots that were, struggling before, now, better than ever?
Recognizing systems and processes of like each location of like people coming in and how are you getting leads and who's answering the phone and like all those things are messy, especially when you have three different ones, right? So we did install our own system. We use our back end is Go High Level. So we're a marketing agency per se on the back end. And people that are in that space are going to be very familiar with that. But that allows you to create a ton of automations and a ton of systems within it and funnels and communication that cleans up a lot of the busy work. And in the gym business, it's not that complicated. If someone calls, answer the phone. If someone texts, respond within 2 minutes, and they're your customer. Like, especially in the CrossFit space, that's where we lose it. So the systems of just implementing that lead system and then follow-up system throughout the trial and then after the trial and beyond, that was the biggest change. And then all of our gyms, we went through a complete revamp of how we coach.
Yes.
How we lead, how we project stuff on the screen. Every single gym, any of our coaches could go to any gym and everything works exactly the same, from TVs to music to casting to the programs. Like everything looks identical.
Everything's on the same programming.
It's just in a different gym.
Yep.
We're all in the same programming. It's identical everywhere. So then we can just refine the system across sports. We essentially built an internal franchise model for CrossFit is what we built.
That's amazing. Is there someone in charge of answering the phone at all the locations, or do you have someone managing it at each place?
We're in the process of that. Right now, they all currently go here.
Oh, great. Yeah. For those of you who are just listening, Ken brought up his phone. It all goes to his phone.
So everything redirects, but we are, well, I shouldn't say all of them.
They don't.
No. Okay. You can answer the question then.
You set it up.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you're right.
Yes. So we're in the process of transitioning that. Yeah. And I do want you to explain it because he set all of this up, but he started with one gym, let it be kind of our pilot. Yeah. And it's been incredible. So I'll let you talk about it.
Yeah. So, I mean, there is a lot of back-end stuff, right? So we did install for all communication at this one location in Prosper. ChatGPT handles all communication. So I built up the whole back end and built the agent that is me with all my background and all my experience and all my answers. So it'll, like, they start texting us, it automatically texts back immediately. The answers back and forth. It's a conversation. They think it's me.
But it won't, it will kind of.
If there is a question that it can't answer, it will say, hey, I don't have that answer. Do you want me to connect you to the owner?
Yeah.
And if they say yes, then it transfers it to myself.
No, the other day though, it did ask about, do you coach the class?
Yeah.
And so
yes,
it's like,
well, it's complicated.
But it didn't say, I'm an AI model, blah, blah, blah.
It did not.
So we built that. And then we also have a voice function too. When someone does call in, her name's Samantha. Samantha answers the phone and she's an AI.
And she says she's AI.
Yeah. But we wanted on the front side people to know that on the front side. So they answer the call. And to be honest, and probably most gym owners are going to fall into this category, I don't know, 80% of the calls I get are Google My Business, someone trying to sell you something.
Yeah.
And that's
so frustrating.
In the first week, it sends you all these stats on this. Literally, it probably saved me, I think, an hour and 45 minutes of just answering the phone because I didn't have to answer those calls and deal with it in just 1 week. So that's a lot of time.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's a lot of that stuff we put on the backside that's built into all this.
Okay, cool. So you have some agents there helping you filter it, some AI agents. But yeah, okay. So it all goes to one place for now. But it sounds like you're going to maybe divvy it out per.
We need Prosper as our pilot. And probably by the end of next week, it'll be installed in every single location.
It's been running through Prosper for what? It's been
3 months. Yeah. I wanted to give it enough time to work out all the bugs and the weird answers it might give and train it better. And then now, because again, Prosper was our smallest location. I didn't want to just throw that at D-Town where we have 40 drop-ins a month.
Right.
Like just drop-ins, from the volume to be able to handle it.
So last couple of minutes here, I want to hear more about this front-end offer. So how did you guys come up with the front-end offer, and what is the process from turning someone from when they opt in and get that front-end offer to then how do you convert them?
So as far as the front end offer, we want everybody just to come in and feel it out. We feel very strongly that we have the coaching staff, the community, that it's going to sell itself. So if we can just get them to come in, that's it. So we offer currently a week free. It's just come in for a week, try it out. We may be going down to 3 days because we feel like they can get that feel in 3 days. They don't necessarily need a whole week. Also, there's some people that want to be like, okay, well, can I come for 5 days across?
It's 5 weeks.
Yeah, 5 weeks.
Oh,
So,
yeah.
but for the most part, I would say a good, 80%, they come and it sells itself.
Yeah.
So once they come, Ken is following up.
Yeah.
And
and a lot of this is built into our system. So it's like they automatically get a message an hour and a half after the trial, asking how it went, like engaging them, getting their feedback. Immediately when they respond, then it's going to be, I'll respond back. Hey, that's awesome. Glad you had a great first experience. Enjoy the rest of the trial. I'll follow up towards the end of the week. And then we're touching base throughout the week with them.
And we have those touch points with our coaches. And we have one coach in particular who is over 2 of our locations, who's now handling a lot of those touch points and is reaching out to them. So managing that process so that when, Ken follows up, if they haven't already said, hey, I want to sign up, or, talk to her about it.
So I think especially because of your role, I think you land on this quite a bit. It's all about customer experience, right? So on the front side, when they do come in for a trial, that morning of the trial, we send messages out to all the coaches at all the gyms who's getting that trial, and we give them a background on that person. So when they walk in the door, it's like, oh, hey, you must be John. That's the expectation.
Mm-hmm.
That goes so far, just saying, hey, you must be John. And then after class, they send me a message on how John did. So then when I follow up with John after that, he responds to like how to go. Be like, hey, Coach Joel said you did amazing. Your squats looked awesome. I know you might struggle with this, but stay in there, hang out through the rest of the week. If we do that front end piece right, the conversions are out insane.
Right.
But it's just that front end touch.
Is there a formal sit down at the end, or usually it sounds like what you're saying is it doesn't even get that far? They're just like, yeah, just sign me up.
Yeah. I mean, really, and that's all handled virtually, really, back and forth. It's like I'm following up. And then sometimes I'll jump on a phone call, or I might be in person if I'm in that location, but most of the time it's via text and they're signing up. And we did make the process super easy. So we created a landing page around signing up. So it's our website plus add membership, and it submits the information over to us. We can get it done super quick. There's no like in person, you got to come in and sign up for it. Remove all barriers to signing up and just get them locked in and move forward.
And some people want to sign up first day, that's great. I'm not going to
stop them.
We're going to wait.
Yeah.
What are the objections that come up?
It depends, right? So if somebody's new to CrossFit, I think that's going to be where you're going to get the majority of the objections.
For sure.
That they're trying to figure it out. You've been to a CrossFit gym. It can be very intimidating, especially if, this is your first time working out, or maybe in years or at all. That's where I think they get overwhelmed at first.
Yeah. And I do think overcoming the price point of, because our prices are $199, $219, $229. So I know we're probably on the higher side or mid to higher side of CrossFit, but it's usually the price objective, and, or to be honest, sometimes it just doesn't get there. And they just like, as soon as they hear the price, they ghost you. So there's no real objective.
They haven't even come in. They're just asking for pricing.
Yeah. And then they don't come in.
Yeah.
Well, what's interesting is that it sounds like there's not like an on-ramp process. It sounds like you just put them right into class. How do you do that?
That's a great question. Our coaches are trained, and the expectation is you're meeting everybody where they're at.
Yeah.
So for all of our programming, we have our standard RX programming, and then we have a level up from that. And then we also have a scaled workout. So the scaled workout is really designed. They don't see it. It's not even on the screen, but it's for the coach to know, like, this would be somebody new to fitness. This is what they should be doing. And Some people have never even used a barbell.
Yep.
So instead of a barbell where there's a lot more things that can potentially go wrong, it may be a kettlebell or a dumbbell, and they'll learn that movement pattern with that first and get them used to it. But we do have a strength portion typically most days.
Yep.
And in that allows the coach a little bit more time to work with them on those movements, because 90% of the people in the gym, they're good. Like, they know what we can correct for them. We can give them things, but we're not on top of them the whole time. So that coach typically has time to work with somebody newer, really work with them on the form, work with them on technique, and help them adapt in that way.
But that is a big focus of, like, our coaches are really, really good.
Yeah.
That we focus on coaching staff. Like, our quality of coaches is outstanding. And that's where we spend a lot of time.
And
we don't have clock setters. We have coaches.
Right.
Which are different.
Maybe we'll have a follow-up episode on just that, because I think that's why affiliates don't see the kind of volume or new signups that you can with like a Orange Theory, because the barrier to entry, it's like, okay, well, you have to come in and talk. And then after you talk, you have to go into this program. And then this program is something totally different than group class. And it's just, and it costs more.
You pay for that. And you can't even join the class. You can't even try it out before you go through all of that. So it doesn't really make sense to create that. And then the people that really need it the most, they're the ones that aren't going to.
But it's very difficult to do it in a large group dynamic, to be able to handle. I mean, what if you have 2-3 trials in one class? I mean, I don't know if you guys have guardrails against that, but that's that for us, that was really challenging. And so, yeah, maybe next time we'll do an episode just about that.
But
for sure.
Well, we're at the end here, at the hour. We didn't even get to all of the spots. We got CrossFit SBR, D-Town CrossFit, CrossFit McKinney, CrossFit Prosper. What's next?
Well, we're in the process of
maybe another one, maybe a fifth baby.
No, we're relocating our CrossFit Prosper location. We're in 3,700 square feet. We negotiated a short-term lease because we knew we were going to grow out of it pretty quick. So we're moving into a new space, which is a standalone building, 6,000 square feet with 6,000 square feet outside. So in a mezzanine inside. So we're moving to about 13,000 square feet, which will be the size of D-Town, but up north. So it's kind of like the new.
It's industrial.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's like the D-Town of the north.
The D-Town of the north. So that happens in December 1, we're going to be in there. So we're at 75 days to get that transition to happen. So no new locations, just no new gyms, just complete remove, that's a big deal.
Well, if people want to follow along on the journey, where can they find you?
We've got all of our Instagram pages. You can keep up to date on D-Town CrossFit. It's CrossFit Prosper TX is what it is. CrossFit SBR, and then CrossFit McKinney. You can follow the individual journeys there, and then you can follow us individually on our Instagram pages too. And we're tagged all of it.
Yep.
Well, great. And gym owner, if you found some value out of this episode, found some nuggets, be sure to like, subscribe, share with a gym owner in need. And if you need help, if you want some of those automations built out, if you want that go high level thing that Ken mentioned here, you can check out Kilo. At Kilo, we offer websites, marketing automation solutions, we call Gym Lead Machine, and gym management software for you to run your gym more efficiently, save time, and most importantly, make some extra money. So if you're interested in that, go to usekilo.com, check us out. And that's all for now. Until next time, we love you, Gym World. Bye-bye.